This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say, I'm sorry. And then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee for your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply. Nothing is more important than getting a good night's sleep, and when you don't get the rest you need, your whole day is thrown off. That's why it's so important to choose the right mattress. Sleeping on a Purple mattress is truly a unique experience, because Purple mattresses are made with a GelFlex grid. The GelFlex grid is an innovative material that moves with your body to relieve pressure in areas like knees and hips, and support in others like your back. It feels soft where you want it and supports where you need it. Purple mattresses instantly adapt when you move. You don't sink in and get stuck like with memory foam. And thanks to over 1,400 air chambers in the GelFlex grid, you will sleep cooler on a Purple mattress. Purple has a wide variety of mattresses, from the original Purple mattress to the Restore Hybrid collection that combines GelFlex grid with coils, and the Rejuvenate Luxe collection, the height of luxury, with over 112,000 5-star reviews to prove it. Visit purple.com to find the perfect Purple for you and enter code podcast10 to get 10% off.
Now, with the MLB app, you can get baseball your way. Pick your favorite team, your favorite players, and get customized highlights, stories, and breaking news right on your home feed. Follow the action with Game 10, where 3D replays add another dimension. Plus, notifications can keep you connected to every pitch, every hit, every game. The MLB app. Baseball your way. Download it now for free from the App Store or Google Play. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. Radio.
Now it's time for another fantabulous episode of
The Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
You're going to tell this listening audience, who adores me, let's be honest.
Oh, behave.
Jeff Lutz.
I'm spreading my wing. This is me to the nth degree.
Wow! Hey! Isn't that exciting?
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Stand by for action.
Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2, the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. Bob Lutz, Jeff Lutz, your co-host. Max Power, producing, engineering, 869-1240. Had a couple of interviews in hour number 1. Jim Ed Norman talked about his association with Don Henley and the Eagles. I asked him a question, and he talked for 10 mints.
You asked him 9 questions in that question.
It was a great question.
It was a terrible question.
And it could have been condensed by Jim Ed, but he likes, I asked him to tell a story, and he told a story.
Tell us about when you were born, the first day of your life, your
that's not what I asked.
first grade teacher, getting into music.
Then we had comedian Derek Stroop on as well. You can always go back and listen to our interviews or any part of our show on the Odyssey app or at kfhradio.com. Don Williams from the Lubbock Avalanche-Journal will join us at 3:25 as we continue Big 12 football previews.
He won't be long-winded.
I'm having some difficulty getting all these booked, but I'm working it.
Do what you got to do, man.
I've got Arizona State booked for tomorrow. I've got West Virginia booked for Monday. Having a little trouble with Utah and BYU.
Well, those guys don't like to chat.
But we'll continue working it. That's what I do. I'm dogged in my determination.
Yeah.
By the way, I hope Max saved the clip of comedian Derek Stroop laughing.
Was that a laugh?
At what I said.
I don't think that's a laugh.
Max, do you have a clip of that yet? I would think that.
Please don't. I'll quit the show.
Well, it's just my general feeling that I can go toe-to-toe.
Do you think that's funny? I mean, it was such a hacky line, though.
Say that again, Max.
Give me a second. I'll get it.
Yeah, Max will get
Please,
it.
just run it in a promo sometime at 3 a.m. And
why does it bother you so much?
Because it's just not in my DNA to try to be funny around people who are our guests, for one, and also much funnier than I could be.
Thank you.
Professional.
I thank you very much. That's a nice compliment you just
For what?
gave. You just said I'm funnier than you could ever be.
No, I was talking about our guest.
No, I think we know who you were talking about.
That's why I said our guest.
Well, as you know, it's kind of become a thing now on this show.
Not really.
When we have a comedian, can Bob step up his game?
Can Bob give us the hackiest line possible? Oh, that was before there were hospitals. Oh my God.
I loved it.
So played.
Well, he loved it.
Did he?
Well, we'll see.
He said, "Ha," and then we'll resumed talking.
When Max gets the clip finished, we'll play and let the people judge.
I think he's so good at comedy that it was like a transition. He didn't care what you had to say, but he gave you the cursory laugh.
We
so then
connected
he
when he mentioned. We connected when he mentioned
talking
Winfield,
about Winfield. Right? Yeah,
that's a connection we
all
have.
have a connection to Winfield.
You don't have one.
Yeah, sure I do.
What's yours?
My wife lived in Winfield when I met her.
But you didn't. You never lived in Winfield.
I didn't.
I did. For the first 2 years of my life.
I don't think this person ever lived in Winfield.
Well, his wife did.
Mine too.
But she's from there, apparently.
Well, my wife's from Ark City. It's not that big of a difference.
I don't have a connection to Ark City.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I did have a cousin who lived there.
Who?
Well, you don't need to know.
Curtis?
No.
The only cousin we ever had?
Curtis isn't a cousin. He's my nephew.
Where is Curtis?
Well, look him up.
What's his...
Find him.
Well, tell me his last name and I will. Not right now, but...
We'll get on it at some point. The Olympics continue. Jim Harbaugh violating some NCAA ethics rules. He gets a pretty severe penalty. Only one problem, he's in the NFL now.
And he'll never have to face that penalty.
The NCAA, could you look more clownish? I mean, really.
Well, what are you going to do?
What are you? Well, just don't do anything.
So... yeah, you're probably right. It's a 4-year show cause. So
and if he were to ever give him a phone call, say, Jim, if you ever try to get back into college coaching, here's what we're going to drop on you. So I hope this works in the NFL because I just want you to be aware that your days in college are probably over. And then move on.
At least for 4 years.
We don't even need to know about it, right?
Yeah, I don't need to know about it. I don't need to hear Jim Harbaugh speak ever again.
Or his attorney, or anybody.
Is Jim Harbaugh the fakest human being you've ever seen out there?
I don't know. The guy can win. The guy's succcessul. How do you explain it?
That's one of my sixth senses. I have a number of sixth senses.
Why is he successful?
I can spot a phony.
Are phonies successful?
Well, sometimes, sure.
How? If you're a phony...
You can be a phony personally, but still have skills. And
well, what's phony about
when he gets in front of the media and the way he talks and acting like he's some morally upstanding? You're just a guy like everybody else, Jim. Just be.
If he was in this room right now, what would you say to him?
I'd say, Jim, talk like a human being.
You'd say that?
Yes.
Really? Well, I'm going to get Jim Harbaugh on this show.
Please do.
And
why do you get up in front of the media and talk in these weird, like, proverbial type?
But isn't that just kind of who he is?
No, that's who nobody is.
That's who he's presented himself
and
as.
That's a phony.
I don't know.
I do.
John's not a phony,
right? And he's not like that, is he?
The Harbaugh, his dad's tremendous. It's a good family. I don't know if I'm.
I've always been able to spot a phony.
What am I? Am I a phony?
Not really.
What am I?
If you can
spot it.
Just a normal guy.
Am I funny?
No.
What do you mean?
I can spot funny too.
Am I? What am I?
Just a guy.
What? How would you describe me?
Just a guy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing beyond that.
I would say you're
just a guy.
I would say you're...
What a terrible thing to say.
I would say you're generally authentic. I'm probably a little more authentic, but what are you going to do?
Well, you're more authentic and you're dull as this cabinet.
No, I am not. I'm an extremely...
Authentic can only get you so far.
Well, I'd rather be authentic and dull.
You think Derek Stroop went along. You think that comedy he does now, where he's up there like screaming,
Yeah, I think
you think that's authentic?
Yeah, that's how he felt at the time. He explained it to us, and he doesn't scream all of his jokes.
No.
He screamed them once because he was frustrated, and
he gets pretty hyper.
Yeah, but I like him.
Well, I like him too, but you got to step out of your authenticity occasionally.
Absolutely not. Not in comedy.
Once in a while.
Not in comedy. Absolutely not.
You're talking to a guy who understands comedy.
Obviously not. You have to be yourself.
All right, let's go to the clip from hour number one.
You're gonna love this, Jeff.
The interview with Derek Stroop. Max has it, and we'll let the audience judge. I mean, they're the ultimate judge. Go ahead, Max.
Thank you all so much for having me. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Winfield, Kansas. That's where my fiance's family's from. Love that little town. Just wanted to give them a shout out.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I was born there.
That's where. Yeah, my wife
was born there before hospital.
Yeah, her grandparents lived there, and
that's so nothing.
Even you laughed.
I was trying to help you out because I knew that whatever reaction he had would be, unfortunately for him,
wait a minute,
us, inauthentic.
Oh, really? So
yes.
that was a little laugh from you. I don't know that I've had the double laughter before.
I was trying to help you because I did not. I mean, that guy has some dignity and pride, I thought. Maybe not. And I didn't think he'd give a reaction. So I just wanted to break up the silence.
Let's see what Jason Duda has to say, who's probably the least funny person I've ever known.
He's up there.
Not funny, he says. Well, you know what Jason Duda thinks is funny?
Shorzy, the best show on television.
Yeah, that or whatever.
Not only the best show on television, the best show in the history of television.
Has Duda ever said anything funny that you know of?
Sure.
He has?
I'm sure, yeah.
On this show?
Probably.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he's one of the funniest people I know.
Jason, you're talking about Jason Duda.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Why is he not here today?
Because I told him not to be.
Really?
Because we had 2 entertainment interviews, and what's Duda going to ask these guys? Hey, Jim Ad, what's your favorite restaurant?
Well, maybe. Would have had a shorter answer. I shouldn't have said that. I apologize.
Why did you say that?
I apologize to Jim Ed and his family.
Well, that was pretty mean of you.
So when is Dude on?
Well, I just got a great text from my wife. Happy to see.
She said you're funny?
Oh yeah.
That's all that you need.
Well, my wife does think I'm funny. That's important. There's no thinking to it.
Has she ever really laughed at something?
Oh my God.
You said?
We have had so much laughter.
What was the last funny thing you said?
I don't know, but
the presence.
We enjoy one another's company. We laugh, we cry,
You cry?
We mingle.
You cry.
Well, of course we cry.
That's funny.
Why is that funny?
Jason Duda doesn't cry.
Jason Duda doesn't have an emotion.
He's a man's man.
Yes. He thinks he is.
So when's he going to be on?
Tomorrow.
Friday?
And Friday.
Oh my goodness.
I got guests to book though. I got to get some people on.
Well, Duda's the guest. I mean, Duda's.
No, I got to get a guest.
We need headphones is what we need so he can
figure that out.
That's not going to be me.
Get here early tomorrow and figure that out. We need one pair of headsets hooked in.
I thought Tony was going to come.
Maybe I can get Tony to come. Well, he wants me to bring this laptop over to him. I got to do that.
Well, we got an interview tomorrow. Are we going to run that interview tomorrow?
Did you reach out to Tony?
Yes. Everyone is aware of what needs to happen and is ready.
Well, we're talking with WWE star Drew McIntyre tomorrow, so we'll see. We'll see when we air it.
Okay.
There's no rush.
No rush. They're here in December.
Right.
With the Monday Night Raw crew, but
and it's only August.
There's a little timeliness because he's involved in some storylines that might not continue all the way to December.
We'll see. We'll get Drew on. So, yeah, that's coming up tomorrow. We'll take a break right now, And when we return, we continue Big 12 football previews with Don Williams from the Lubbock Avalanche-Journal. We'll break down the Texas Tech Red Raiders next.
Worried about letting someone else pick out the perfect avocado for your perfect impress them on the third date guacamole? Well, good thing Instacart shoppers are as picky as you are. They find ripe avocados like it's their guac on the line. They are milk expiration date detectives. They bag eggs like the 12 precious pieces of cargo they are. So let Instacart shoppers overthink your groceries so that you can overthink what you'll wear on that third date. Download the Instacart app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply. Nothing is more important than getting a good night's sleep. And when you don't get the rest you need, your whole day is thrown off. That's why it's so important to choose the right mattress. Sleeping on a Purple mattress is truly a unique experience because Purple mattresses are made with a GelFlex grid. The GelFlex grid is an innovative material that moves with your body to relieve pressure in areas like knees and hips and support in others like your back. It feels soft where you want it and supports where you need it. Purple mattresses instantly adapt when you move. You don't sink in and get stuck like with memory foam. And thanks to over 1,400 air chambers in the GelFlex grid, you will sleep cooler on a Purple mattress. Purple has a wide variety of mattresses, from the original Purple mattress to the Restore Hybrid collection that combines GelFlex grid with coils, and the Rejuvenate Luxe collection, the height of luxury, with over 112,000 5-star reviews to prove it. Visit purple.com to find the perfect Purple for you and enter code podcast10 to get 10% off.
Now, with the MLB app, you can get baseball your way. Pick your favorite team, your favorite players, and get customized highlights, stories, and breaking news right on your home feed. Follow the action with Game Day, where 3D replays add another dimension. Plus, notifications can keep you connected to every pitch, every hit, every game. The MLB app. Baseball your way. Download it now for free from the App Store or Google Play. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show.
Don Williams from the Lubbock Avalanche-Journal. We're going to talk some Texas Tech football. But first, Don, how many years now on the beat?
Well, counting my time at the campus paper, I think this is year 39 for me, since 1986.
Impressive.
That's just amazing in this day and age. The industry, you probably noticed, Don, it's changed a little bit.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. It's changed a ton. Certainly the way we used to do things back in the mid '80s and into the '90s compared to how it is today is very different. And I'm grateful to still be doing it.
So let's talk about Texas Tech. And we've talked on this show quite a bit about how that there might be some favorites in the Big 12, but there are also some teams that could sneak in and be somewhat surprise type of teams. And I think Texas Tech probably falls into that category. They really revamped their entire offense, and they don't play KU, K-State, Utah, or Central Florida. So are things kind of looking up in Lubbock?
They are. They've won 3. They've ended the last 3 seasons by winning bowl games. Bowl games against teams from other what used to be Power 5 conferences. Ended 21 season beating Ole Miss. Ended 21 season beating Mississippi State. Ended 02 season beating Ole Miss, and ended last season beating Cal in the Independence Bowl in Shreveport. And along with that, Joey McGuire's gone 8-5, 7-6 the last 2 years. Along with that, he's had 2 recruiting classes now that have been ranked in the top 25 back-to-back years by the recruiting services, by Rivals and 24 and 24/7 and so on. And so there's a real sense that they have been upgrading their talent base, upgrading the caliber of player that they have on their roster, I think justifiably so, because those top 25 recruiting rankings last couple of years are way higher, way better than what they were in about the 5, 6, 8 years prior to that. And so they've kind of amassed a pretty good base of young talent in their freshman, redshirt freshman, and sophomore classes. They've supplemented that by as you know most teams do these days, landed some transfer portal guys that they feel really good about, including a couple of offensive linemen. They got a wide receiver from Washington State named Josh Kelly that was close to 1,000 yards receiving last year. And so they feel like they're primed to, as you alluded to, be one of those teams that could make noise in the Big 12 this year. And I think it's kind of interesting because nobody has Texas. I was making this remark to somebody just a couple hours ago. Nobody has Texas or Oklahoma on their schedule this year, so I feel like there's a lot of teams that look at their schedule and say, hey, we could win. We could go 8-1 or 7-2 in this conference. Our schedule's not that hard. But I think there's a lot of teams probably saying that. But it'll be interesting because I think there realistically are 8 or 9 teams that it would not be shocking to see them in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, I agree. Don Williams with us from the Lubbock Avalanche-Journal. So the Red Raiders they open with Abilene Christian on the last day of this month, and they have Washington State and North Texas, and then Arizona State, Cincinnati, and Arizona, the first 3 games in the Big 12. Have you wrapped your head around all this and the massive changes that we're seeing and how the Big 12 looks so much different today than it did just a couple of years ago?
Yeah, and I think, a couple of years ago, even as recently as, like you said, two, maybe 3 years ago, who could have predicted that there would be no more Pac-12? I mean, you and I can remember when it's the Pac-8, when we were young, and then the Pac-10. And I never imagined that there would be a time where there were no kind of anchor major conference on the West Coast. And I just never conceived of it until it was upon us. And so, no, to answer your question, it is very hard to wrap our minds around, and it's hard to really compare it to any other thing. I'm coming up on 60 years old, and it's hard for me to really compare it to any other time in my life because I always felt like we had the regional kind of geographic, regionally based conferences, and every conference had its 1 or 2 banner programs in the. The Southwest Conference, you had Texas and Texas A&M, and then in Arkansas, and the Big 8, you had Oklahoma, Nebraska, and the Big 10, and you had Ohio State and Michigan, and USC and UCLA, and the Pac-8 and 10 and 12, and the ACC had, some, North Carolina and its schools. So to see it go the way it's gone, who would have imagined it even 10 or 12 years ago?
You mentioned, kind of reshaping the offense, bringing in new offensive linemen. They've got new receivers. They've got a freshman receiver. They've got a tight end out of the portal, but the backfield's the same. Taj Brooks at running back, Baron Morton at quarterback. What will be the challenge for the coaching staff and for Baron Morton himself to kind of be able to integrate so many new pieces into an offense?
Well, I think you just alluded to it right there. I think the challenge will be that they're counting on a lot of new guys who have credentials. But as it pertains to, let's say, Baron Morton in particular, there's high expectations on the young man that I mentioned, Josh Kelly from Washington State, called about 60 passes for 923 yards last year. So obviously they're expecting him to make a big impact. They have a wide receiver from Florida, a kid named Caleb Douglas. He was a sophomore. He was starting for the first 5 games last year at Florida and then suffered a season-ending injury. He's a Texas kid that came back home. Was a highly regarded recruit, and so they're expecting big things from him right off the bat. And then they signed a 5-star receiver named Micah Hudson from the Waco area, out of Baylor's backyard. And he's probably the most highly anticipated true freshman receiver, I would say, since Lloyd Hill back in the late 1980s. And so they're expecting him to. I mean, Joey McGuire has really highly touted him because he said he thinks he can handle it. He says the best talent, most talented young receiver he's ever had, and he's had multiple guys who played in the NFL that he coached in high school. And so the challenge, I think, is to get all those guys on the same page and to do it rather quickly. You know what you got at running back with Taj Brooks, and then the other kind of storyline, thing's been a storyline around here for the last year, really, has been Baron Morton's health, because he got hurt in the Big 12 opener last year, was diagnosed as a grade 3 tear of the AC joint, grade 3 sprain of the AC joint, and he played through it really the rest of last season, and left off with him being, outstanding offensive player in the Independence Bowl. And he thought, okay, well, that's behind him. He threw for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns last night and looked fine. And so we kind of put it out of our minds. They start spring practice, and then after 6 sessions of spring practice, they said after the first scrimmage, the normal soreness had not subsided in a day or two like it normally did. And so they shut him down. He missed the last 9 sessions of spring ball. So then he went and saw a couple of high-profile orthopedic surgeons. They did not recommend surgery. They thought he was better off just rest and healing. And anyway, to kind of tie up a long story, now he said yesterday that he's making 125 to 150 throws a day, and the shoulder feels fine. But there's been so much concern about that throwing shoulder since last September. I think people want to see him go out there and look good for a month or so in real games before they're comfortable that, it really is behind him.
Texas Tech coming off a 7-6 season. They capped it with a Independence Bowl win over Cal, 34-14. Talking with Don Williams from the Lubbock Avalanche-Journal. Last question for you. What are your impressions of the coach, Joey McGuire?
He's interesting because, he was a very successful high school football coach in Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex at Cedar Hill. Took his team to a state championship 4 times, won 3 of them. But we know that sometimes being a great high school coach necessarily doesn't translate to being a similarly successful college head coach. I mean, we can remember the story of, Jerry Faust at Notre Dame, great high school coach who didn't cut it with the Fighting Irish. And Joey, to kind of complicate it for him, I mean, he was not a coordinator in college. Texas Tech hired him. He was a position coach at Baylor. He had been on the Baylor staff for only 5 years since his days in high school. So there was, I think, some initial concern about is he ready for this? And they hired him really largely based on just kind of force of personality, because he is such a outgoing guy with such a magnetic personality. He's popular in the Texas high school football ranks. So they signed him with the idea that he's going to upgrade, because of his personality, and his reputation in Texas high schools, he's going to upgrade the recruiting. And he's done that so far. Like I say, the talent on this team is substantially better on paper than it was really for much of the last decade. And now it's, I think the questions for him to prove are simply, game day decision making. There's been some of that. He's one of the guys who is very into the new analytics of we're going to go for it just about anywhere on the field on 4th down. We may be at our own 30-yard line, 4th and 1. We'll go for it. Or their own 38-yard line, 4th and 3. We're going to go for it. That's what the book says to do. So when you do that and you make it, great. When you do that and you don't make it, there is a not small segment of the fan base that is like, this guy's nuts. Somebody needs to take the keys away from him with these 4th and 3 calls at his own 27-yard line. So still maybe trying to prove himself in that regard. But by and large, he's a guy who's, regardless of that, it's very popular And like I say, the fact that he's had 2 winning seasons in a row, he's on pretty firm footing right now.
Well, Don, I can't thank you enough. It's always a pleasure. You're a constant. Every time we do these Big 12 football previews, I'm scrambling to find the new beat writers for different teams, but you're always there. You're always able to come on, and we appreciate your time. Thanks for breaking down Texas Tech football.
Well, I appreciate the invitation again. Always enjoyed the visit.
Take care,
Thanks.
Don.
All right, y'all too. Have a good evening.
All right, Don Williams from the Lubbock Avalanche-Journal. We continue with our Big 12 football. How many teams are there in the Big 12 now?
39.
I got 3 months of these previews. Season will be over by the time we get them all done. Michelle Gardner from the Arizona Republic will join us tomorrow to talk about Arizona State football. What's wrong with you?
I'll go for
Your
energy.
team lost today. That's 4 in a row.
They might win
the
later.
Guardians. There's another game.
Yeah, they have doubleheader today, day off tomorrow, doubleheader Friday.
Against who Friday?
Minnesota.
Oh, you're in trouble.
4-game series. Minnesota's playing like garbage, too. They're getting
they'd won
smacked
5 in a
around by
row
the
before
Cubs.
today, hadn't they?
No, they lost yesterday.
Well, you're in deep trouble. And I think the thing is, I think you know it. You can kind of feel it.
They are, but if Minnesota doesn't seize the opportunity,
well,
we'll know a lot on Monday.
We'll see. White Sox gunning for their 2nd win in a row. They're up 2-0 on Oakland right now.
60 under.
Soon to be 59, maybe.
Perhaps.
Arizona out to a 1-0 lead in the 2nd
Already?
inning.
Seriously? That's not true, is it?
Boy, I feel bad. There's nothing
it is
worse
Carlos
than this.
Carrasco, and it is his final start, hopefully.
There's nothing worse than what you're going through.
And who did it? Who got the run? Josh Bell on a home. The guy is murdering us.
Well, he's got incentive, right?
Yeah, we gave up on him.
Eduardo Rodriguez making his debut in this game.
Yeah, and he owns the Guardian, so it's over.
I feel bad for you.
Thank you.
Lane Thomas 0 for 1.
0 for 20.
Tommy Pham's not 0 for 20.
Lane Thomas is. Take some pressure off yourself there, Lane.
You could have went out and gotten that same deal, Fetty and Pham, and instead you go for
Wonder who we would have had to give up.
Alex Cobb, and you gave up a lot for Alex Cobb. You know what the Cardinals gave up for Fetty and Pham? Tommy Edman.
No, we gave up more for Lane Thomas.
But
Cobb
you know what
deal
I'm
was
saying.
just a minor league pitcher.
You know what the Cardinals gave up? A guy who hadn't played all year.
Right, but a guy who's a 5 to 6 WAR player
At his best.
if healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
versatile
saying they didn't
defen-
give up anything.
Has he debuted with the Dodgers yet?
He has not.
Really? Wasn't he rehabbing with the Cardinals? What's going on here?
Tommy Pham's not. I don't know. That's
Tommy
why.
Edman.
Tommy Edman,
Can't have
Tommy
too many
Pham,
Tommies
Tommy.
on your team. Name all
Tommy
the Tommies.
Two-Tone. I don't care what Tommy we're talking about. You better get out there and play.
What's the Mount Rushmore of Tommies in Major League Baseball history?
Tommy Lasorda.
Yeah, no question. Tommy
Tresh. Although he went by
Tom
Tom Tresh, but a lot of people called him Tommy Tresh.
Tommy Agee.
Tommie.
Yeah, I'll count it. Tommy John.
Well, of course.
And who would be the last guy?
Tommy Tresh.
He didn't go by Tommy.
He did to a certain degree. There were people who referred to him as Tommy Tresh.
Tommy Malone? Yeah,
hadn't done
It
enough.
drops Tommy LaStella. There aren't many Tommies after those
Tommy
three.
LaStella over Tommy Malone.
Yeah, easy. Tommy Helms?
Tommy Helms, good one. From the Cincinnati Reds.
That's probably your Mount Rushmore of Tommies.
Had some pretty good years for the Cincinnati Reds.
Tommy Herr, but he kind of went by Tom too. So we've kind of settled on Tommy John, Tommy Lasorda, Tommy Agee, and Tommy
I think
Helms.
Tommy Herr would be in that realm.
Yeah, but I don't know if he went by Tommy as much.
His baseball reference page does not refer to him as Tommy Herr.
Correct.
it does refer. Why wouldn't Tommy Pham be in there?
Could be.
I'd put Tommy Pham ahead of Tommy Helms.
Really? Okay, well, we can put Tommy Pham in there.
Tommy Helms is a good player, but I'm not going to go gaga over the guy. You know what I'm
not really
saying?
going to go gaga over Tommy Pham as the Diamondbacks take a 2-0 lead.
Tommy Helms, manager. Why am I getting that page? I don't care about Tommy Helms as a manager. I care about Tommy Helms as a player. He played 14 years in the big leagues, accumulated 1,300 hits, batted .269, OPS plus of 79. That's let's see what Tommy Pham's OPS plus is.
Not probably a little better.
Well, is it better than 79?
Yes.
It's
probably over 100.
114.
Yeah, so he's over Tommy Helms for crying out loud.
That daggum Tommy Pham's a good player.
I know he is.
You didn't think so when we were talking about him.
Just didn't want him on my team.
Do you wish you'd thought differently now?
No, not really. Didn't want him out there punching guys and causing
He's a great teammate.
problems.
Cardinals love that.
He punched a guy over fantasy football.
So what?
Is that being a good teammate?
You know what? I might do that this year when we have our draft.
Are we having a draft?
So far for the Cardinals, his OPS is 1159.
Well, good. I'm sure it'll stay there.
His OPS plus is 216. What's Lane Thomas?
211, I think.
No, really.
He's 0 for his last 20. That's what he is.
Tommy Pham is killing it.
Good. I'm sure it'll stay there at 1159 or whatever.
It doesn't matter. He's going to stay relatively high.
He either will or he won't. We don't know.
He's got
Baseball's an unpredictable game.
He's got a track record.
I hope he goes 0 for 20.
I love it when you're in misery, and I can't wait for Duda tomorrow. We're going to just bury you.
I might not show up.
You'll come off a doubleheader loss.
We'll find a way to win this game tonight.
You'll have an off day. You'll know you're probably going to get swept again Friday.
No, we got Alex Cobb going Friday.
I feel bad for you in some ways.
Wait.
In some ways, I feel bad.
Might be Matt Boyd too. What a duo!
They couldn't pitch in my American Legion League.
I think Alex Cobb probably could.
All right, we appreciate everyone. Go back, listen to the show. Why wouldn't you? Even if you listen to this, go home, listen again in front of your family. Play it for everybody. Have a neighborhood block party. Play the Bob and Jeff Show, the Odyssey app. We'll see you tomorrow.
Trying to figure out what to eat for dinner yet again? With Knorr sides and bouillon as your not-so-secret ingredient, you can skip the drive-thru and do dinner at home. Knorr Taste Combos provide a menu of delicious, affordable, and well-balanced meals that you can prepare in 30 minutes or less. Visit Knorr.com to get quick and easy recipe ideas for your home-cooked weeknight dinners. It's not fast food, but it's so good.
Everybody knows it. Toyota trucks are the stuff of legends. Rugged, durable, everlasting. Toyota makes trucks that just don't quit. And now Toyota is driving that legacy toward the future with two of their most powerful trucks ever, the new Tundra and the all-new Tacoma. In a half-ton Tundra, you can rule the roads. From the comfort of a spacious cabin with connected tech and plenty of hauling power, the Tundra is ready to work hard and play even harder. Or check out the all-new 24 Tacoma, redesigned and electrified to maximize your adventure. With a bevy of available off-road driving and power transfer modes, you will effortlessly crush the conditions. And with the Tacoma's reimagined interior, you'll do it in style. And right now, your local Toyota dealer has more vehicles in stock and is making delivery on new vehicles almost every day. So don't wait. Buy a Tundra or Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
Now, with the MLB app, you can get baseball your way. Pick your favorite team, your favorite players, and get customized highlights, stories, and breaking news right on your home feed. Follow the action with Game Day, where 3D replays add another dimension. Plus, notifications can keep you connected to every pitch, every hit, every game. The MLB app. Baseball, your way. Download it now for free from the App Store or Google Play. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.